Hey class, so welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to look at graphing axes, intercepts, and slope. So what is an intercept? An intercept is when you cross the x-axis. So here we have our axis. Just to review, this is our x right here, and this is our y right there. So once we cross that's not our y, there's our y, thank you. So when we cross this line, that is our x-intercept. When we cross this line is our y-intercept. So in order to figure out your x-intercept, you have a y value of 0. When you cross this line, you do not go up, you do not go down, so y must equal 0. Just like when you cross this line, you do not go left, you do not go right, so x must equal 0. So you can find your intercept based on that information. We can use y equals 0 to find our x value, and then a different math, we can use x equals 0 to find our y value. And that's what we do. Now once we get 2 points like this, then we can graph a line. Done. As well, we did interpreting graphs yesterday. These values have very important information for us. They tell us things about our graph and our equations and gives us information. So we really want to find those numbers. They're very important when you're making decisions about your situation. So let's start real quick, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to find our x-intercept by making y equals 0. So we set 0 equals 3x minus 3. We get y equal to be 0. And so then we move minus 3 to the other side by adding. So we get plus 3 plus 3. We get 3 equals 3x. Then we divide by 3 both sides, and we get x equals 1. So our intercept is 1, 0. Okay. So now we can do the same thing. Okay, that is a point that we can plot, 1, 0. 1, 0 right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find our y-intercept by making x equals 0. So x equals 0, we substitute that in. We get y equals 3 times 0 minus 3. Always use brackets when you substitute. What's 0 minus 3? Negative 3. So the intercept is the point 0, negative 3, plus with brackets. So if we have 0, negative 3, that's down here. And so once we found our intercepts, we can now make a graphed line. So we'll take our ruler, okay, and we will make this graph line right there. Oopsies, what happened there? 0, negative 3. I wonder if I want to change that color. Okay, sorry. There we go. So now we got a nice big long line goes from the corner of the grid to the corner of the grid. Okay. No. Oh, this is so frustrating. Okay, plot 0, negative 3, 1, 0. Come on, line. There we go. And there's our line. Okay, and we can label it y equals 3x minus 3. Done. So, by graphing x-intercepts, we're going to find them separately. That's how we do it. And then we're going to plot the intercepts and make your line. So let's just do a little practice with some 3 different situations here. So this one here, 3x plus 5y equals negative 15. So we're going to say x equals 0. We get 3 times 0 plus 5y equals negative 15. 0 plus 5y equals negative 15. And we get 5y equals negative 15, so y equals negative 3. Okay, and so that's a point 0, negative 3. So we're going to do it for our other intercept as well. So now we're going to say y equals 0. And so we get 3x plus 5 times 0 equals negative 15. So 3x plus 0 equals negative 15. 3x equals negative 15. And so divide by 3, x equals negative 5. So we get negative 5 comma 0. So negative 5 comma 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. There's 1. And the other one is 0, negative 3. 0, negative 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I can make my line. Again, lines should be nice and long. Okay, don't make a short line. And I like mine to go over the edge of the grid. Okay, so I'm going to write the equation on this as example 1, so I'm going to call it number 1. Okay, good. Next one, 2x minus 3y equals 12. So let's go x equals 0. So we get 2 times 0 minus 3y equals 12. Now it's 0 minus 3y. This one you got to be careful of because that equals negative 3y. Okay. And so then y equals negative 4. So the point value is 0 comma negative 4. So y equals negative 4. 1, 2, 3. It's down here is 4. And then the next one, we get y equals 0. So we get 2x minus 3 times 0 equals 12. 2x minus 0 equals 12. 2x equals 12. X equals 6. So our point value is 6 comma 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And so now I can make my line. I'm going to make this smaller so I can make my line super long. And so that's example number 2. Okay, so I've labeled my lines. Last one here, 2x minus 3y equals 0. So let's set x equals 0. We get 2 times 0 minus 3y equals 0. It's kind of weird, eh? That 0 part, 0. 3y equals 0, 0. Y equals 0. That's weird. Okay, so the point value then would be 0, 0. That's the origin. That's smack dab right in the middle. Weird. Okay, so then what's the next one? Y equals 0. So we get 2x minus 3 times 0 equals 0. 2x minus 2x equals x divided by 2, 0. So this one is also 0, 0. What the heck? So we don't know, since they're both points are there, we don't know if our line goes like this, goes like this, goes like this, goes like this. We don't know. We have no information about it whatsoever. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it into y equals. So we have 2x minus 3y equals 0. We'll move 2x to the other side and get negative 2x plus 0. And then we'll get y equals negative 2x divided by negative 3. So y equals positive 2/3 x. We don't need to add the 0 and that's it. So how do we graph that? Doing our table of values, we'll have special values for it. What do? Well, we do multiples of 3. So negative 6, negative 3, 0, 3, and 6. And then we substitute in. So we get y equals 2/3 times 6. Those cancel. And so y equals 4. Then we'll go y equals 2/3 times, sorry, that's negative 6. So that should be negative 4. Negative 3, so we get negative 1, so we get negative 2. 0 is 0. We already sorted that out. And then for the 3 one, so y equals 2/3 times positive 3. So it's positive 2. y equals 2/3 times positive 6. That's positive 4. So now we can plot those points. We cannot do axes intercepts for this graph because we don't know enough information. Since it goes to our origin, it can be going anywhere. So now we will plot those points. -3, 1, 2, 3, -2, -6, -4, and then positive 3, positive 2, positive 6, positive 4. Now we have enough information to make our line. So sometimes you have to do more than one method to be able to graph a line. You got to be able to do your table of values because there is actually no other way to find this graph. And so now this one we will label graph 3 because it's example 3. There we go. Okay, so our worksheet right here, you're going to be doing your math. Okay, you can do, I encourage you to do your work on a separate sheet of paper. I know some people squeeze it in, but you got to make sure you're doing it properly. Once you found your intercepts, so I'll do the first one for you. X equals 0. X equals 0. So we get 2y equals 6. I don't know what's going on here. 2y. So y equals 3. So that intercept there is 0, 3. And then we'll do the other way around. So then we'll do y equals 0. There's no subtraction sign. So I'll be left with 3x equals 6. X equals 2. So this point is 2, 0. So I will find those things. Where are we here? 0, 3 and 2, 0 right here, the. So A, I'll put the, and so there you go. And so then it's going to be a little puzzle for you. Now I also have to graph that. So this is 0, 2, 0, 3, 2, 0. 0, 3 is going to be right here. And 2, 0 is going to be right here. And so then I can make my line nice and long through both points with a ruler. Okay, so you want to be able to make sure you are drawing your line, and that's for letter A. Then you can do all the other graphs as well. Practice graphing your intercepts. Next part is slope. Okay, so for slope, what you're going to do is you're going to count. Let me just add one page in. Good. All right, so for slope. So your slope is what we've been calling our rate of change. Rate of change. It is the number in front of x. So if we have 3x plus 2, that is our rate of change. That is that number. So how we do it is if we have 2 points, we are going to draw a straight line. And then what we're going to do is make a dashed triangle. So we have to do what we call our rise and our run. And so our slope, typically we use for your slope the letter M. So M is our slope, or rate of change, and that equals your rise over your run. So for us, if we counted it, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4 for our run, and we rise up 1, 2, 3. And so we would have 3 over 4 as our slope, our rise over our run. Okay, let's do a couple more examples. Okay, so we're going to go over a couple more examples here. So say we had these points and we made our lines. All right, so let's make my lines real quick. There we go. I want to find the slope of the line. So what does the slope equal? Well, remember it's rise over run. You should write this down, have it memorized. Okay, and so I can draw my triangle. Now this time, in order to get to the bottom point, I gotta go down this way and over this way. So you want to kind of count in this direction, kind of like you read a book from the left side to the right side. So my rise, I'll count in a second, but my run is easy. My run equals 1, 2, 3. My run equals 3. So I can put that in the bottom of my fraction. Now what about the rise? Well, I don't rise. My rise equals -4. And that's because I am going down. Okay. So if I go down, I have to have a negative rise. So my slope is -4/3. Now you say, well, what if I go in a different direction? Okay, this is just one way to do it. What if I counted this direction? What if I went sideways first? 1, 2, 3. Well, that would still be a +3. And then what about going down? Well, if I went down in this direction, I'd be going down 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. So you can use the green or the blue, it doesn't matter. They're both going to go from one point to the other point and give you your correct slope. Now, some people say, well, what if I count in the other direction? Okay, well, let's go over that real quick. Okay. So if you're going to start here, that's fine. You can go up. So I go up. Oh, excuse my horrible handwriting there. I go up and then go over. There's my right angle triangle. So yeah, my rise will equal 3. And by 3, I mean 4. But my run now, my run equals -3. And the reason why is because I am going backwards. All right? We don't read in this direction. If you write a sentence, when you read the word backwards, you don't read it starting at the S. No. Okay, so if I'm going backwards, then I should have a negative. So we always go from the left to the right. And if you decide to go backwards, just make sure you have a negative run. Now our slope equals 4/-3, but still, I can move my negative sign to the top, and I should, so I don't forget about it. Okay, so wherever your negative sign is, it just means the overall fraction is negative. Let's look at a couple more examples real quick. This one here, here's my line. Okay, so I'm going to count. Again, you make your triangle. Boom, 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 boom. You can do a dashed line or you can do a straight line. It doesn't matter. Left to right is easy. So here's my run and here's my rise. I count the squares. My rise equals 2. Count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My run equals 6. So your slope, which is represented by the letter M, so just remember, this is your slope letter. That's what they've designated it, the International Federation of Linear Relations. Rise over run equals 2/6, but we gotta go in lowest terms because that fraction is not reduced. So lowest terms, we divide them both by 2, it's 1/3. Always reduce your fraction to lowest terms. Okay. Good, and what if we go in the other direction? So now I go up 2, so here's my rise of 2, and I go over my run of 6. Well, guess what? My slope still is 6/2. Lowest terms, sorry, I got that wrong. My 2/6. Lowest terms, 1/3. Okay, good. Any questions? All right. So I have a question for you. What if we had m equals, say, 12/6? What is that in lowest terms? Well, 12 divided by 6 equals 2. And what is 2 as a fraction? That equals 2/1, but this is the best answer. Okay, so simplify your fraction to lowest terms all the way. All right. Sometimes it'll be an integer, but lots of times it'll be a fraction. Fractions are okay. There's nothing wrong with it. That's normal.